that you Dr. Rommel, let me land, please. Let me land. The fact that you
did this, right?
Dr. Rommel, please, can you let me land?
No.
I
will never have no.
Dr. Rommel,
honestly, I can't stand this girl. God knows.
You know, one thing that was quite interesting about this particular episode of the show was how, after being absent for about 3 episodes or thereabout, Dr. Rommel made a comeback on this episode, only to make himself look quite ridiculous and this small. I mean, guys, I listened to the lies he told about Faith with regards to Googling Tania. And guys, oh my God, it was so funny. It was so funny. And it kind of made me see him as a coward, because I was thinking, dude, why are you lying? Are you scared that these women will finally see you for who you truly are? Even the way he described how he spoke about Tania to Faith, it made it seem like it was so harmless, like he was asking, you know, innocent questions. When, ladies and gentlemen, you and I know what we watched on that particular episode where he was already shredding the women prior to even meeting them.
And I said, I don't know her. Am I supposed to know her? Because she was a little bit cold to me. I was trying to get to know her. And I said, so is she TT? And she corrected me and said it was something T.
It was just so funny. It was just so funny. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. But aside Dr. Rommel and his shenanigans. Oh, by the way, today is his birthday. So regardless, right, we definitely need to wish him a happy birthday. Today is a great day for him. So, hey, Dr. Romeo, according to Toyin, happy birthday to you. We love all the spice and the drama that you bring to the show, but that does not mean we're not going to talk about all of your excesses, all right? So we're going to talk about it. But as I was saying, this episode was also quite revealing as to the true nature of Iyabo and Chioma. Ladies and gentlemen, without mincing words, this episode really exposed how much of a bully these two women are. And guys, especially about Chioma, I was quite shocked. I'm going to hold my horses, all right? We're going to get into this episode. We're going to analyze it as usual. And guys, I would love to hear your thoughts about everything, not just Chioma and Iyabo now, even Dr. Romeo, but everything, all right? So we'll get into it. Please go ahead, shout me your thoughts in the comment section below. I cannot wait to hear from all of you, all right? And officially, you are all especially welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, and I am the girl with the tea, guys. Quick reminder, tomorrow is Saturday. Please do not forget to join us for our Saturday YouTube live conversation, all right? It's going to be quite interesting, just as always, all right? So 3 p.m. WAT is the time. Make it a date with us. Please do not miss out. And for those of you that are new here and you are not yet subscribed to this community, please do not hesitate to do exactly what you see on your screen. You are absolutely welcome in advance, all right? And yeah, all of that said, let's just quickly dive into the analysis of the episode 10 of the Real Housewives of Lagos. First off, I must commend production on how they've chosen to, you know, dish out the tea of the show this season. I totally love the pattern they've chosen, and I don't know how many of you have noticed, but it's now become a thing of every time there's drama, the next thing we see, maybe in the next episode, is the women spending time with their families and just being glorious in their elements. And I feel like it's more of a way to sort of diffuse all the tension and all the dust that's been raised, you know, just sort of sprinkle peace in the land. And sometimes it works, right? That was exactly how they started on this particular episode. So first, there was Faith spending time with her family. It was quite a beautiful scene. But not a lot happened, so I'm not going to dwell on it. Now, next, there was Toyin that had taken her son, Tania, to play with the dad, to spend more time with the dad. And I really enjoyed the conversation that they both had. And one thing I got from that conversation is that there's beauty in co-parenting. In other words, where two parents are not together anymore, there's beauty in them maintaining some level of friendship, that also thrives on regard, for each other. I don't know if I'm putting it the right way, but it just makes so much sense for two people who have made a baby together, to have mutual respect for each other, right? Respect each other, respect boundaries, and also maintain a friendly communication, all for the good of the kid. And that was what I saw between Toyin and her baby daddy. And guys, it was quite refreshing to hear that both of them actually do have great plans for their child. And I just loved the way they were bantering together and, sharing jokes. And then there was Chioma on the next scene, who was proudly announcing to all of us that she was going to visit her friend, Dr. Rommel, in his clinic. Now, there was also Tania and Iyabo that also, joined in that visit. It was more like a visit of the three evil sisters. I'm sorry to say, but every time I see these three people together, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, So it was more like a visit of the three evil sisters to the cheap gossip, of the crew, that is Dr. Rommel. But yeah, before we get into the details of that, listening to Chioma refer to Dr. Rommel as her friend, because she actually placed a huge emphasis on that, that term, oh, my friend. And the first question I asked myself was, since when? Since when? Okay, Chioma, is Dr. Rommel your friend because you are also joining Iyabo in antagonizing Faith, or is he your friend because you have recently learned that he has two clinics in the US and as recently, or probably at the time, had plans of opening another one in Lagos, Nigeria, and not just in anywhere in Lagos, Nigeria, but in Banana Island of all places. I mean, guys, you and I know that it's not cheap to have two clinics in the US as a Nigerian. It's not cheap, yes? And also having another clinic in Banana Island. Guys, I explained on my previous video that Banana Island is one of the most expensive places in Lagos, Nigeria, if not the whole of Nigeria. It is one of the most expensive places. It is not cheap to buy a space, not to even talk of renting a space. Guys, renting a space in Banana Island of Lagos, it's like triple the price or even double the price of what you would rent in any other place in Lagos, Nigeria. Those are the questions I had in mind. And once again, I just had to tell myself that anyways, this is all a game of association. This is all a game of attaching oneself to who they perceive, to have the social status, to elevate their own status. Because frankly speaking, looking at Chioma at that point in time, even listening to the way she kept on defending Dr. Rommel, back to back during her confessional, ladies and gentlemen, that was all I could see. Guys, also at that point in time, it became glaring to me that the roles have now changed between Chioma and Dr. Rommel. Yes, it's now a case of Chioma trying to climb up Dr. Rommel's social ladder. It's no longer a case of Dr. Rommel, trying to climb up Chioma's social ladder. I mean, as from the perspective of viewer, guys, that was what I was seeing at that point in time. It might not seem that way to Dr. Rommel, because that one too is looking for how to get clients for his business, hence the reason he's desperately lying and trying to fit into that click. And guys, it was quite an interesting eureka moment for me, because I'm like, oh my God, lo and behold, how has the mighty fallen so low? Simply because, of association. I mean, guys, what do you think about how Chioma, referred to Dr. Rommel as her friend? Because guys, that was such a grand announcement. There was also Iyabo, who did not fail to remind us about how excited she was to be friends with Dr. Rommel and how she felt it was such an honor to be invited to his clinic.
Dr. Rommel is my person. I like him. I feel very honored that he's inviting me to come to his space, you know.
And you see, guys, at that point, I could see that there seemed to have been a role switch also with Iyabo, because guys, right from the get-go, it felt like these women had already, you know, rated Dr. Rommel, you know, to be nothing. It seemed like they had already, you know, sort of sized him up. Yeah. You see, it made me wonder if Iyabo would have been that excited to be friends with Dr. Rommel if Faith had never been in the picture. Anyways, Tania arrived, you know, ready to lock horns with Dr. Rommel. According to her, she was in the presence of her enemies. Now, prior to her arrival, Chioma had already informed Dr. Rommel that, oh, Tania had scores to settle with him because of what she had heard from Faith. And Iyabo, of course, was getting all excited. She was already making faces, you know, that's her typical local, you know, she was already making faces. Anyways, Tania was there, and guys, I'm going to be frank with you, it was sort of confusing for a moment for me because I was expecting us to hear Tania address the things that Faith had actually, you know, revealed to her, exposing her relationship status with Dr. Rommel. But instead, what we're hearing was something about fake lipstick in the gift box that Dr. Rommel had actually given to the women at his and Faith's Botox party. And guys, it was quite confusing to me because all through the previous episodes, never did we ever hear of anything about, oh, was there a fake gift or not in the box that Dr. Rommel had actually given to the women. But that was what we heard Tania was complaining about. As a matter of fact, it was made to seem like that was her bone of contention with Dr. Rommel. And guys, quite frankly, I just feel like whoever edited this particular episode, they need to knock that person on the head, because there was like a disconnect in the course of that conversation. It was quite confusing. It felt like that conversation should not have come first. And then later we heard Dr. Rommel trying to defend himself, you know, against Faith, explaining that, oh, it was just an innocent question he had asked Faith about Tania, that, oh, who is Tania? That when he had met Tania at Chioma's yard sale event, that he did not hear Tania's name. Like, he had made it seem like it was an innocent inquiry that they had actually made of Faith, and not like he was going to check Google that, oh, Faith actually Googled Tania. Guys, I was dumbfounded because thankfully production showed us that scene again. We're given a flashback of that scene.
I mean, let's Google her because I don't know. I'm supposed to know.
No, don't do that.
She also Googled you, and that was what it was. Nothing deeper, nothing more. So,
and guys, even if there was no flashback, if you had watched that particular episode, you would recall that Dr. Romeo was the one that actually did have a lot to say about the women without even meeting them in the first place. And it was Faith that kept on, you know, watering down the things he was saying and telling him, no, don't judge, don't say anything about them, wait till you meet them. And then Faith had invited him to Chioma's event so that he could meet the women for himself, not just to sell his market, but to also get to know them for himself before even forming a perception about them. So him now telling Tania that, oh, Faith even Googled you. I'm like, but this was the same Faith that stopped you from Googling Tania because she felt it was quite unnecessary. So guys, it's either it happened and production edited out that part, or it did not happen, or Dr. Romeo was just being a coward and lying through his nose just to save face. Because guys, his explanation did not make sense because it was the complete reverse that we all watched. And you see, just as expected, Tania believed Dr. Romel's explanation. Yeah, she believed him. And she said they were all good.
I'm wondering, what could she have told you?
It's fine.
Just as expected, Tania bought everything that Dr. Rommel said. And you see, guys, I'm just waiting for the reunion. Because now that the show has been aired, I'm sure that these women are watching. I would really love to see Tania's reaction, especially when she discovers that Dr. Rommel actually lied. Because guys, at that point in time, it just felt like she put herself in a position where she had no choice but to just accept whatever explanation that he gave. Because of course, Chioma and Iyabo, her friends, are not seeing anything wrong with whatever explanation he had given. They did not have any issues with him, so she had no choice but to also be on good terms with him. And so she did not investigate the matter further. Another thing I found quite hilarious was how Dr. Rommel used reverse psychology on the women. Now, in trying to explain his side of the story to Tania, he had flipped the script by saying, oh, why would the conversation have been about Tania? You know, it's all about Faith because she's selfish. She wants everything to be about her.
You think Faith is gonna give me attention and make me talk about if I Google somebody? You think she will make it about me or her? It's about her and her strategy. Remember, I was supposed to back her up.
He knows already that the moment he puts the explanation that way, it will buy Iyabo's favor towards him. He knew already that these women, they don't like Faith. So whatever he says, you know, that goes to prove that all of Faith's actions has been for our own selfish interest, they will buy it, hook, line, and sinker. And that was exactly what he did. And immediately, Iyabo was triggered. Immediately, she went into action. You know, she started talking about, oh, you want to come here, you want to come and take the crown. It's not like you have beauty and brains.
It's not like you are beauty without brain. No beauty, no brain.
Okay, so no beauty, no brain, no actor.
You want to take the crown from a girl who is a lawyer.
Then she had turned towards Chioma and she was using Chioma as the standard of beauty and brains. Our own explanation was, oh, and forget that Chioma dresses how she wants to dress, but she's a lawyer. She was just going on and on. And guys, I looked at Iyabo, guys, I was so embarrassed on her behalf. I was so embarrassed listening to Iyabo give such an explanation because it just went to show the level at which she can only reason, and that is where it ends. Because I was here asking myself that, oh, so because Chioma is a lawyer, does that mean that she actually does have brains? Now, this is not me insulting Chioma or anything, but guys, there's something called, you know, book smartness, book brains and life brains, social brains, emotional brains. So because Chioma had enough book brains to go to school and secure a degree in law, does that mean that in all ramifications of life, she's got the brains? I mean, guys, I am yet to see, Jesus. See, simply put, I was just very embarrassed with Iyabo's moment of, you know, praising Chioma because it looked like she was actually acting a Yoruba movie. And it was that look, that smug look on Chioma's face, like she was enjoying the praise. She was like, guys, Tania's face. And then it was Chioma claiming the crown of queenship in her confessionals for me.
Listen, darling, first of all, anybody can be a queen in their own castle. But you see this crown? It sits pretty on this head all day, every day. If you want to be a queen, go and find your own castle. But you see this one? I dominate. Understand that?
I mean, guys, it was so hilarious first that Chioma had come with a physical crown, and then she had placed it on her head, guys, and then she was declaring, you know, that, oh, she's queen of this castle, that if Faith wants to be queen, she should go and look for her own castle. The way I interpreted that to, you know, be is that Chioma has already declared herself the queen of the show in general. She's declared herself to be the queen of that clique. She's declared herself to be the daughter of the Queen Mother. You know, since people on social media have been calling Iyabo Queen Mother, so she's the daughter of the Queen Mother. I mean, guys, also at that point in time, it was such a huge relief to me that, oh, finally, Chioma has, you know, unconsciously told us the real reason for her unnecessary beef towards Faith. Because, guys, I actually thought maybe Faith stole her man, or maybe Faith stole her boyfriend, or maybe Faith took something that belonged to her from her. But the moment she made those childish declarations during her confessionals, guys, it was just so hilarious to me. I'm like, oh wow, so this is the reason you felt intimidated all along. You felt overshadowed. You felt outshined. You felt like Faith was coming to rob you of your glory, of your position as what exactly? You felt like she was going to make you insignificant on the show. And so you decided to, you know, antagonize her, to stand your ground. You decided to form a clique, a caucus within the circle to fight Faith. Guys, if the Lulu was a person, because guys, one thing Chioma did not clearly see was that she was clearly fighting herself. She was fighting a lost cause. She was fighting, my God. Guys, you see, that particular scene, it was just very hilarious to me. It was just so hilarious. But what do you think about that? What do you think about that? This is the part that also really cracked me up. After they had gone on and on and on about Faith, Iyabo now said that they would give her the benefit of doubt to explain herself. That if they find out that Dr. Rommel's story was not really adding up, that they would deal with him, you know. Now, she had said it in both a serious and playful manner. But guys, oh God, listening to the way she had said it, I was wondering like, okay, once again, Iyabo, who the fuck are you? Like, who made you judge over the whole group? Who made you judge over people's friendships and relationships? Who made you the general overseer over the affairs of the women in the group? Who made you how do I put it now? Who made you the ultimatum over who should be friends and who should not be friends? Like, guys, it was the way she said it for me. And the way Dr. Romeo was like, no, you're gonna ask her, you'll hear from her. That's if she was gonna talk. Oh my God. Speaking about the so-called benefit of doubt that she said they would give to Faith, ladies and gentlemen, this woman already wrote off Faith right from the get-go. She already drew her conclusions about Faith. She already cooked up her perception, her ugly perceptions about Faith right from the get-go. So if indeed she wanted to give Faith the benefit of doubt, she would have done it long ago, right from the very first meeting she had with Faith. The meeting where her daughter had actually introduced her to Faith. She would have given Faith that benefit of doubt. Because guys, speaking about respect, Faith really, you know, gave Iyabo all of that respect, all of that regard. Iyabo by herself chose to throw it all to the gutters. Why? Because that first time, she did not see Faith in her glorious element. And so the moment she saw Faith in her glorious element, intimidation set in. Fear set in. Faith's real self, you know, completely drew out all of Iyabo's insecurities. And that became a problem. Iyabo cannot bear to stand in the presence of someone that is everything that she wishes to be. Same thing goes for Chioma. So when I heard, oh, we're going to give her that benefit of doubt, I'm like, Iyabo, please pack your benefit of doubt, throw it in the trash can, because at this point in time, it is no longer relevant because you've actually done the worst. And even if you give her the benefit of doubt to explain herself, question is, Iyabo, will you be open-minded enough to believe Faith? You already declared in different episodes that Dr. Rommel is way better than Faith. That Faith is not a good person. She looks like she and Funeral, they have something in common, this and that. You've said a lot about this woman. So what are you on about? Talking about benefit of doubt. You only give benefit of doubt to people whom you are ready to open your mind to learn more about. You do not give benefit of doubt to people who you've already closed your mind against. But guys, what do you think about that? Do you think if there was an opportunity for Iyabo, Chioma, and Faith to have a sit down and discuss their differences, do you think Iyabo and Chioma will give Faith the benefit of doubt to speak her truth? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. When they were done, trash talking Faith, they had decided to demonstrate the fight that had happened between Mariam and Toyin. And guys, I'm going to be frank with all of you. I felt like that was quite petty, but I wasn't really surprised that it happened because that is something that can literally happen, amongst friends when they meet and they want to gist about people and things that they have seen. They would definitely demonstrate. Demonstrations brings more fun, and excitement to the gossip. Without demonstrations, the gossip is not complete. So frankly speaking, it was kind of petty, but I wasn't really surprised because it is typical of women, who sit down to gossip about other people. So anyways, that happened, and then Iyabo had actually made a statement, that sort of drew another very ridiculous statement from Dr. Rommel. So Iyabo had mentioned that, Toyin is now besties with Faith. And Dr. Rommel was like, Toyin, I hope we're still friends because the last time that we met, we were really cool. Guys, if you remember the last time that they met, it was the last time that Dr. Rommel had been trash talking Faith to Toyin, hoping to get Toyin on his side. And I could see that he was kind of scared because Toyin, unlike these other women, did not allow herself to be swallowed up by his pettiness and his beef towards Faith. Yes, Toyin had by herself, gotten to know Faith, and now she knows the truth about the situation. So the fact that he was even scared, if Toyin was going to still be friends with him, it just went to prove that there was a lot more that meets the eye about his beef towards Faith. And I am hoping that before this season ends, or probably during the reunion, that we get to hear all of these untold stories, because guys, obviously there's a lot that we still do not know about these women this season. The next scene was Laura, Faith, and Toyin's lunch date, and these women were looking amazing in their beautiful regalias. I particularly loved how stunning Laura looked in pink. Yes, she's still basking in the euphoria of her upcoming wedding, and I just loved how she's been carrying herself as the bride to be, soon to be bride to be, if I am putting it correctly. Yes. So they were having conversations, and Toyin had actually shared that what really provoked her about Mariam that led to their fight was the fact that both of them had been friends for many years. Guys, we're talking about a friendship that's panned out to up to 15 years. But then Mariam had been spreading a lot of gossips about her, been telling people a lot of nasty things about her, that she had friends calling her from Spain, asking her about the things that Mariam had peddled about her, that it was quite shocking. And then what really got to her was the fact that, Mariam would say all of these things, even say things about these other women. And then when she meets them in person, she'll be kicking and cackling with them like nothing happened. And then talking about, Toyin, I will expose you. That for her, she says things about people that she knows that she can equally say in front of them. She will say it behind their back and she'll say it in front of them, that she just got really upset about all of those things. Now, I really loved what Laura had said, that she knows that Mariam can be a tad bit excessive, but she felt like Toyin should have controlled herself, a little bit more, other than getting, into that fight with Mariam. Which I totally agree with Laura, because I'm all for using your words. You use your words. Yes, you people will offend each other. You people will hurt each other. But at the end of the day, there will still be the possibility of having conversations, to mend fences. But once fists are involved, I feel like there's no going back from there. Also, looking at the fact that in this situation, Toyin threw the first punch. Not literally now, but you know what I mean. She dished out the first attack. Physically attacked Mariam. I just felt like that was unacceptable. And Toyin needs to come to terms with the fact that she actually went too far with her actions on that day. Now, for Faith, she was not there. And so she cannot really, have a say in the matter, because for her, stories have different perspectives from different people. And so because she was not there, she cannot really judge. Now, I totally understand where she's coming from, but I also kind of expected her to, comment on the fact that Toyin had actually gone physical on Mariam. I understand she's trying to be neutral, she's trying to save whatever friendship she has with Laura and Toyin. She's trying to respect the boundaries as well. I totally respect that. I totally understand that. But I kind of felt like, yeah, just like Laura, there's a way she would have played with her words, and she still would not cross any lines, but she will still be honest, with her own opinion about that matter. It was on the next scene we learned that the day after the fight with Toyin, Mariam had gone to extract her eggs in preparation for her surrogacy journey. And guys, I felt really bad hearing that. In fact, that scene, with Mariam and her cousin Adiza, guys, that scene was really emotional. That scene was really sad. You could tell that Mariam looked and felt downtrodden. She looked and felt defeated. She looked and felt embarrassed. Like she wasn't really herself. She tried to be chitty-chatty, but she wasn't just herself, and she was really sad during her confessionals that Toyin had actually gotten physical with her. But at the same time, guys, I kept on saying that, Mariam, I feel bad for you. Mariam, I do not support the fact that Toyin had actually, laid hands on you that way or even attacked you that way. But girl, you talk too much. You're too problematic, both to yourself and the people that even care about you. Your excesses are very excess, if there's anything like that. Your excesses are a lot. So it's not every time that you need people to accept you the way you are. You also need to understand that people are built a certain type of way, and if you do not respect the tenet of your friendships or your relationship with them, anything you see, you go collect. Period. What you see, you get. So you cannot go and poke a sleeping tiger. You get scratched, and then you want to come and sit down and act like the victim. Yes, I'm glad she said by herself that she wasn't a victim. She doesn't like claiming the victim in any situation. I get it. And yes, indeed, she's not the victim in the situation. But for the fact that she herself did not respect her friendship, her relationship with Toyin. I mean, you and this person, you people have been friends for about 14 years, if not over 14 years. And you still went around, peddling cheap gossip about your friend. How does that even make sense? Which one is more forgivable? Can we even measure? Can we even equate? Can we even say that, okay, this one is more grievous of an offense than the other? Which one is worse? Gossiping about your friend or your friend getting physical with you because of your gossip? Which one is worse? Which one is more forgivable? Guys, at this point, I can't even judge the matter. Next scene was Toyin's photo shoot with her son, her husband, and a young girl. She said they had picked off the streets, had rebranded, and is now grooming to becoming a superstar. And I found that to be really nice. The girl is really cute. I think I've actually seen this girl a number of times on her business page, and I never really knew the story behind this girl. I actually thought that the girl was her, one of our kids. Guys, frankly speaking, I do not really know everything about those women, you know, but listening to the story of this young girl, it was quite heartwarming, you know, to learn that they're actually doing a lot for this young girl. And there was also conversation about Toyin's surgery that she's still sort of avoiding. According to her, the moment she has that surgery, she will be sort of incapacitated for a bit because she will have to take some bed rest. And guys, frankly speaking, I don't really know much. I don't really have a lot of information about, you know, the enormity of Toyin's situation, but I just feel like she needs to do what she needs to do to be better, to be safe, to be healthy. So if it means she needs to go for the surgery, then she needs to take the advice of her family and take care of herself, because business will always be there. The business will always be there as long as she's got the right people working for her. Even her husband that's fully invested in her business, I believe that she'll be fine. On this next scene, we once again meet that Chioma's Nollywood actor admirer. If you all recall previous episode, the Nollywood actor guy that had gone to meet Chioma during her photo session, and they had this conversation about both of them being colleagues in law school, guys. So yes, that guy, the guy came again on this episode. So Chioma had gone to her horseback riding class and had invited the guy, and frankly speaking, there was no meaningful conversation that was had. Once again, that scene was completely irrelevant. This particular episode would have survived without the presence of that particular scene. And just as I said before on my previous review of the previous episode, I'm going to say it again. This new storyline that they are cooking up for Chioma, jig, it does not make sense. Guys, please make it make sense. From the beginning of this season, we were introduced to a new Chioma that's got a lover now, right? A lover that she speaks with every day. A lover that likes her, a lover that refuses to spend money on her, a lover that does not like buying her a gift. She did not tag that lover a secret admirer. She tagged that lover, a man that she likes, that she enjoys spending time with and having conversations with. And then all of a sudden, out of the blues, from episode 9, we are not seeing Chioma talking to this lover anymore. We are seeing Chioma that is now entertaining advances, or that doesn't even look like advances. We're seeing Chioma that is now entertaining someone who is supposed to be a secret admirer, but is now showing his face. You know what? Frankly speaking, whoever came up with this idea for Chioma, that person is not doing the show justice. Please. It does not make sense. The storyline does not gel at all with what we already know of Chioma's love life or her situationship. Yes, so it would be better if they show us a dinner scene, between Chioma and this person she's been speaking to on phone, than this person that's a complete stranger, because every time they meet, conversation is so dry. It's like they are struggling to remember their script, and Chioma is always trying to talk over the guy. So it's like the guy is just supposed to be mute and listening to Chioma whilst she blabs on and on and on. So once again, that scene was a big fail for this particular episode, just as it was on the previous episode. Moving on, the next scene was a lunch date between Laura and her husband. And frankly speaking, this scene completely took me unawares. I'm not gonna lie, guys, and this is me being as frank as possible. The moment I saw Laura and the husband walking into the restaurant, even walking in through the doors of the restaurant, because there was this shot that the camera gave us right from the top, right? So it felt like they were attending a funeral ceremony.
We're here to have lunch and just, talk about the wedding.
It's gonna be like this.
Thank you.
Because Laura was wearing all black. And then there was this very, very long veil, covering her face. And then it had this long train, following her at the back. So the moment I saw it, oh my God, guys, I panicked because I'm like, oh my God, who died? Where are they going? And then lo and behold, they walked into a restaurant, and then Laura explained during her confessional that, oh, that was her, training and just living in a moment towards her wedding day, that she had actually told her husband that she was going to be wearing veils and dressing that way, leading up to the day of her wedding. And I'm like, oh my God, Laura, you scared me. You almost gave me a heart attack, because I was wondering, like, oh my God, who died? Guys, I felt like it was that deep. I felt like it was that serious. But yeah, I could totally understand. As I said before, Laura is still basking in the euphoria of, her wedding day. She's still quite excited about the day, and she's really looking forward to it. So they just had conversations about how the wedding event will go, how the ceremony will go, how everything is going to work out, and they decided to go home to go and shag. Yes, that was what they said they were going to do. Next scene, Tania had gone to inspect the site for her business with her husband, and then she had lunch with her dad. No meaningful conversation was had because, guys, frankly speaking, I did not understand what they were talking about here. So they had actually had lunch together, cute moment between Tania and her dad, but that was what I could make out of that scene. Now, moving on to the next scene. It was Toyin's art and fashion event. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish I could stand up right now to give Toyin a standing ovation. That event gave everything it was meant to give. That was beautiful. That was pure art. Guys, I loved it. Last week, Saturday, during our live conversation, I was struggling with the pronunciation of avant-garde. Guys, you see that word? I had to learn it over and over again just for the sake of this video. Toyin's show was giving us a very, very premium level of avant-garde. Woo! I loved it. I loved it. The pieces that were displayed were so beautifully crafted. Guys, you could tell that a lot of work went into every single piece that was showcased. Materials were carefully curated. Guys, everything was just amazing. And of course, I mean, there can never be an event on the Real Housewives of Lagos without some drama. And this time around, the drama came from, once again, Iyabo and Chioma. These two people decided to capitalize on that opportunity to troll Laura. And the worst of it all was that Laura was sitting right next to them. Already, as they were coming into the hall, Iyabo was already, saying during her confessional, she was already getting all excited that, oh, Laura was going to get schooled. In other words, she was comparing Laura's fashion show to Toyin's fashion show. And I'm like, Iyabo, this shows that you're not very exposed about art. You're not very exposed about fashion. Yeah. You have a stylist, right? You have a stylist, they style you up, they dress you up, you look good, you come prepared and all whatnot. But it doesn't mean that you're actually informed about fashion. Is it that you don't understand that fashion is very, very versatile? I mean, I'm thinking, how do you compare someone that's, put together a runway show for ready-to-wear pieces to someone that put up a fashion show for avant-garde pieces? Ready-to-wear pieces are clothes that people can literally wear every day. But avant-garde pieces are not things that people wear on the street. Otherwise, they'll think you are mad. They'll think you're crazy. These are pieces that people wear for specific occasions. But but they are not everyday wears. They are not fits that you can wear at any time, on the road, on the street. You'll be deemed mad. So the fact that Iyabo was even making such a comparison, talking about, oh, she's going to get schooled. I'm like, oh, wow. Iyabo, really? Please, get more exposure. Get more information to just quit embarrassing yourself on this show. Because, guys, this episode, Iyabo was just back-to-back embarrassing herself. And the fact that Iyabo and Chioma were just continuously sort of goading Laura over her own fashion show whilst she was right there. Guys, it was just so disgusting to watch. Very disgusting. They both looked like bullies. And I was just looking at Chioma. I'm like, Chioma, you've grown wings, oh, this season. You've grown wings. I remember you of last season that was literally shitting your pants anytime anybody made any comment about your makeup, about your outfits, about how you looked and carried yourself. But now, you feel like you're now rolling with the big boys and the big girls. So you feel you can now bully someone else, you know. You should have the same type of energy that you were crying over previous season. Guys, it was really pathetic. Just watching Iyabo and Chioma, you know, going at Laura. And I loved the fact that Laura completely ignored them, because I had a strong feeling that she could actually hear the things that they were saying. But she just completely ignored them. I'm like, yes, Laura, be the bigger person. Continue being the bigger person this season. That is how elevated you've become. Let them continue to wallow in the mud, you know, where they have reduced themselves to. And of course, they also shaded Mariam, who wasn't there to start with. And even right from the beginning of the show, that's Toyin's event, Chioma was already expressing her satisfaction, you know, that Mariam was not there because she does not need Mariam's drama. They should be the adult. And then, speaking of people that wanted to be the adult, they were now acting like mean girls, you know, to Laura whilst the show was on. And then I was thinking that, okay, Chioma, I thought you were the one that was saying that you people should act mature. You people do not want drama. So you don't want anybody else's type of drama, but you want you and Iyabo to be the bringer and shakers of drama. Goading and sort of bullying Laura. Really? How hypocritical. Just as you've been this entire season. And then there was also the part where a particular model was, you know, rocking one of Tiana's piece, you know, that looked like angel's wings. And they were saying, oh, it's giving Mariam. It's giving Mariam. In other words, body shaming the model and also body shaming Mariam. And then in a way, it kind of looked like they were sort of making a mockery of some of Tiana's pieces, that's Toyin's pieces. Oh, this one is giving Amala. Oh, this one is giving this. Oh, this one is giving that. Oh, finally, something I can finally wear. And I'm like, what's with all this? What's with all this negativity? And then there was Dr. Rommel, who literally aged 20 years over the moment he saw Faith walking that stage in one of Tiana's pieces.
Good for her. Didn't make an impression on me, so I didn't really notice her, like she didn't stand out to me.
Dr. Romeo, see, guys, at that point in time, just like I put on Twitter, it looked like all the Botox juice he had injected into his face, it looked like everything completely dried up out of bitterness. Because the moment he saw Faith on that stage, this man looked like he aged. Like he aged 20 years over. His face looked, the man was like, I'm like, Oga, do you want to disappear? Do you want to disappear? Are you okay? Are you sure you're okay? Because it was just so funny. I'm like, dude, this woman does not even acknowledge your existence anymore. She does not even acknowledge your presence. Why do you want to melt on that seat that you are occupying? Why is everywhere hot all of a sudden? Calm down. calm down. Anyways, the show ended, but it started raining heavily. Now, it wasn't just raining, it was also very windy. But Toyin had left, gone home with her family, friends, and all whatnot, and Faith had also left for home. But the other cast members stayed behind. According to them, they were waiting for it to stop raining. Now, Chioma, guys, I mean, this was quite funny. Chioma was sort of expecting that Faith would actually wait with them, you know, and sort of have a conversation with them, which I found quite ridiculous, because I was thinking, first of all, you people have literally pushed this woman away at every given opportunity. So what makes you think that she would wait behind with all of you vultures, you know, for you people to pounce on her and shred her again, as you've constantly done? Why? What makes you think that she's going to wait, you know? So I was really glad that Faith had left. For me, it was giving miss me with all of that bullshit, yes. And I loved what she said during her confessional, was that, well, the show has ended, so what should she be waiting for? You know, she wasn't going to wait for the rain to end, so she had to take her leave. But anyways, they got into conversations, and just as I complained earlier, whoever edited this episode did not really do justice to this episode at all, because it was very obvious that there were conversations that were had, and then we missed the beginning of the conversations, and then we just meet the women halfway through those conversations, and then sometimes you sort of lost, like, okay, what were they talking about? What's going on here? But anyways, Laura started giving her own opinion about what she would have done if she were to be in Toyin or Mariam's shoes. According to her, if she heard from a friend or maybe from people that, oh, your friend has been saying XYZ about you, that she was going to call them separately, you know, to have a private conversation. She would not have that conversation in public, that she would want to hear your side, or she would rather you hear her side of the story to get the truth about that situation. Now, she used herself as an example. She said she had actually said the same thing to Toyin. Then it was at that point that Dr. Rommel had attacked her with a question that, oh, so why didn't you give me that same grace? The same grace you extended to Faith. Why didn't you give me that same grace? You said you heard things that I said. Why didn't you come and ask me? Why didn't you come and give da 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 da? And I loved Laura's response to him. That, listen, Dr. Rommel, I love you, but we're not friends. You're not my friend. Guys, which was an excellent response. Because guys, such grace is given to your friends, to people that you have like a close relationship with. Yes, because there's something at stake at that point in time. Your friendship, your relationship is at stake. So if that gossip is going to end what people actually cherish as a friendship, you would extend that grace to that person to have that conversation. So guys, I was lost. I was wondering, like, Dr. Romeo, wait, pray tell. First of all, are you Laura's friend? Why do you, like, what makes you think that Laura will come and ask you? Like, it's not like she even changed her behavior towards you. It's not like she's been hating you. It's not like she's been peddling false, you know, narratives about you to other people. She's been minding her business. So what do you expect? That she should take your side and not Faith's side? Because at that point in time, Dr. Romeo was actually accusing her of taking sides. I'm like, Dr. Romeo, you're such a liar. You lie a lot. Hey! One very annoying thing that was happening whilst Laura was speaking was Iyabo making faces, you know, acting all disgruntled, acting like, oh my God, I want to fight. Oh my God, my body is hot. Oh my God, I'm ready for trouble. Like, she was just, oh my God, she's just being overly dramatic. And I'm just looking at this woman like, they're not even talking to you. Which one is your own? You know? And then, oh, out of the blues, she carried the matter on her head. Because guys, there were a lot of confessionals happening here and there, you know, and at some point we're missing the conversation that was happening. Before we knew it, Iyabo was attacking Laura, even raising her voice.
The fact that you, Dr. Rommel, let me land, please. Let me land. The fact that you, Dr. Rommel, please, can you let me land? The fact that you come out to say something was said. If
you said something was said about somebody, you have to say it. It's either you come correct or you go home. It's either you say everything or you don't even mention it at all. Blah, blah, blah. Now, she actually made a valid point. I'm not gonna lie. She made a valid point when she said that if you know you are not going to explain what was said about someone, do not inform the person that something was said about the person. That makes a lot of sense. I totally agree with Iyabo based on that point. But what I did not get was why she was shouting and why she was sort of verbally attacking Laura. Like she wanted to fight. Like she was out to, you know, deal with Laura or something. And then the part that really cracked me up was, we all know that it was supposed to be a conversation between Laura and Dr. Romeo at that point in time. But it was Iyabo shutting up Dr. Romeo continuously. Dr. Romeo was trying to talk his talk. He was trying to explain himself. But Iyabo kept on shutting him down. She kept on saying, let me finish, Dr. Romeo. He wants to talk. Let me finish. He wants to talk. She kept on shutting him up. At some point, she was speaking Yoruba, like, you have a lot of problem, or your problem is too much. I'm like, I don't understand. When did Iyabo become Dr. Romel's mouthpiece? Because guys, at that point in time, it looked like another gang up that was brewing. Yeah, it looked like Iyabo was sort of trying to stir the pot. She was trying to set Laura up because there was no Toyin to defend Laura. There was no Faith to possibly defend Laura. So it was people in her gang that were there in that conversation. So all of Iyabo's unnecessary, you know, actions, it just pointed directly to the fact that she was trying to set Laura up. But Laura saw through all of her dramatics, and she was saying during her confessionals that she knows that Iyabo is XYZ, and so she's not going to feed into that. She's not going to give Iyabo that satisfaction of getting the reaction that she wants, which was good enough for me. Because guys, most of the times when people want to roll in the mud, allow them to roll in the mud, because they literally live, breathe, and eat that mud. So you that has, you know, successfully elevated yourself from that mud, stay right up there where you are. Don't go down with them. Anyways, I would love to know what you all think about this particular episode of The Real Housewives of Lagos. So please go ahead, share with me your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll see you guys on another episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. Have an amazing day.